What's up, guys? It's Nick and Dustin with Two Brothers Comics, and we are back today with another creator show live. So we're going to be talking to one of the other Mad Cave Studios creators today. Y'all stick around and see who we got. All right, guys. So we are here, me and Nick, and so we've been enjoying doing these shows, these live streams, and being able to talk and bring these Mad Cave Studios creators on. We got another one today. We really enjoyed reading his stuff. You guys know him from Show's End and his new book coming out. We're going to talk about today. So we like to welcome to the stream Mr. Anthony Cleveland. What's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. How you doing today?
I'm tired, trying to bounce back, but let's do this.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So real quick, let's say hey to a couple people in the chat just to show their appreciation for being here. So Anthony, I know you've been with with Mad Cave for the last year, starting with Show's End, right?
Yeah. I think we're pushing 2.
Yep.
It's been a journey. It feels longer. It feels like I've been here since I started, doing comics.
Yeah.
So it feels like it all started there.
Absolutely. And you won the basically the writer contest that Mad Cave puts on for 2018, right?
Yeah, the first talent search they did. I was fortunate enough to get selected for that and get rolling right away with them.
Fantastic.
That's a really cool thing that they do, and to be able to see the fact that not only are they doing that, but they're using you guys and letting you guys, actually show what you got. And then we get great stuff like Show's End. We've gotten some great stuff out of Jay Sandlin.
Yep.
So, it's definitely really cool to see them doing that.
Yeah, I'd love to see more publishers open the doors like that. It's really cool at Mad Cave to do that stuff.
Absolutely.
Get a lot of new voices.
For sure. So Anthony, tell us a little bit about your background, kind of how you got into writing comics. And kind of the journey into this and what kind of some of your motivations were for doing so.
I started with studying film in college. I always wanted to be a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I got out and, I couldn't find anything. So I fell into the first job I could find, and I worked pretty much like anything. But I got into security. I worked security at a methadone clinic and inpatient psych ward. And then I got a part-time job from there as a coroner deputy. And like all that stuff kind of broke me a bit. So I decided I'm just going to do comics. I'm going to try to do my best. And I put out, Silver Skin, self-published indie book. And then not long after leaving the coroner's office, I got picked up from Mad Cave. And it worked out because it felt really silly to say I'm leaving this to go write comics. But yeah, it worked out well.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Chasing a dream. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't have that gumption or that drive to do something like that, right? So
for sure.
I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. Wonderful, man. So let's talk about your new book, Stargazer. Okay.
Sure.
It's coming out. Its publication date is, as of right now, May 6th, which I know it will not move because Mad Cave doesn't miss their marks at all when it comes to that.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about the influence on Stargazer, what it, kind of the premise of it. Dustin and I both had the privilege to read issue number 1, and it was fantastic, right? The story behind it, the artwork, it was all incredible. So talk a little bit about the influence of that and give us some more information on the book.
Yeah. Stargazer was pitched over to me from Mad Cave. That's another one of their IPs, just like Show's End. They own all their IPs, and they reach out to the writers to kind of flesh them out a bit. Yeah. And they pitched that one over to me. And the original story, I think, was about, it's still the same, but it was about a young boy gets abducted by aliens, and then years later finds out it was probably true that he was abducted by aliens, and all the mystery that comes from that afterwards. So with mine, like I liked the idea a lot, but I didn't have a lot I could pull from. I was familiar with UFOs. I know a lot about the abduction case and stuff like that. So I was a little bit dry with ideas with this one. So I reached back into what I'm familiar with. So I took from the 90s growing up. I took from all the leftover ideas from Silver Skin, because I don't think I'm going to pursue that book anymore. So anything I wanted to do with that book, I put into this one. So it's nice to see those ideas finally not in the trash or left in my journals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I felt like bad for doing that. I didn't want to take anything from my personal life because I always thought like, once I do that, like I'm officially out of ideas. that's the fail safe.
Yeah.
But no, once I like realized like, no, this is Silverskin. This is what it's supposed to be. It felt like more complete. I had a more heart connection to it right away.
Absolutely, man.
Right on.
So tell me a little bit more about Silverskin so I can kind of understand kind of the influences that I've seen within Stargazer.
Yeah, Silverskin, the dynamic between Shay and Kenny is pretty much the same thing with what's going on in Silverskin. Silverskin's about two brothers. The youngest one has special needs. He's bit by a werewolf, and then the older brother has to take care of him.
Oh, wow.
So it's similar dynamic here with Shay and Kenny, where Kenny's got all of his problems after whatever happened that night, and Shay's been dealing with it all these years, and she's just at her limit with it. And the thing happens at the end of issue 1 that kind of sets the whole comic into motion from there.
Okay, perfect, man, perfect.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see, you know, where I can see now where the similarities would be with, you know, with you talking about him having a special needs brother and kind of taking care of him, and you know, for lesser words, you know, the burden that you know you would have to bear to do that, and then you know, seeing where that kind of transfers over, where you know Kenny's definitely been a burden on her for years at this point, so that's really
yeah. I mean, my brother's special needs, so that's where I'm pulling from. Like I said, I'm pulling everything from the '90s in my past and experiences, and it's not like just taking care of, it's the decisions you have to make while taking care of, you know, people like that.
Absolutely. So very personal.
Yeah, tough decisions, tough realities you have to face, even on yourself. Like this, Shay's been like very overprotective of Kenny, and that's kind of how I was as growing up. And like a lot of Stargazer is about me kind of confronting that overprotective person that I was.
Right.
Yeah. So that was neat to break down with this book, to beat yourself up over.
Absolutely, man. So, and I know I wanted to kind of touch on something else too. So, and I'm probably going to mispronounce the name, but Antonio Fuso, am I pronouncing that even close? The artist?
I think so.
Awesome. Yeah. So here's the cover, and this artwork in the book, and I'll leave it up there for just a second longer. So the cover is really neat, and also the artwork on the inside. You know, obviously a lot of people haven't seen it yet because it hasn't come out yet. But tell me kind of what that process was like for you, helping Antonio take with, you know, what's up here and kind of what you've written and turn that into the art of the book, right?
Yeah, very separate this time. They've done books with Dark Horse and Aftershock together, and I was still like, didn't want to. I don't know. I was kind of starstruck because they're big names and they did really good work. Yeah. And once we started like passing ideas back and forth, that's when we started talking. I think we just recently started talking about like cover ideas and brainstorming together, and that's been great. They're great couple guys to break stuff down with.
Absolutely, man. So you didn't have as much control as far as kind of showing what was going to be on the page. It was more he did it as he felt, and you know, with your writing, or is that kind of how it worked?
It's pretty similar to what's on the page. I don't think much has changed. They switched up the ideas with the UFOs, and I think they did it. Everything they did for the changes is for the better. They took this and made it much more abstract. The orbs and everything like that is just way more mysterious than just seeing, you know, a goofy ship in the sky like I had originally. They took this book and raised it on up. Chris Fernandez is the editor, and it's the person I worked with mostly on this back and forth, and all of them together just bumped it way up. Justin's lettering too. I just read it today. It flows so well. It's just great.
Yeah, and really proud of it. I like the fact that they did, you know, that you guys went with those orbs. It really added a, you know, real mysterious feel to it.
it's something you don't see. If you're not familiar with it, it's hard to pinpoint. You know, I mean, if it's a ship, you can say like, you know, it's a ship. We know what, you know, we've seen Close Encounters. We know what that stuff is. But when you just see an orb of light, like it's new, it's different. We're not sure what it is.
Had him, you know, just, you know, kind of mesmerizing.
Yeah, exactly. Like Moth to Flame. You know, all the kids are, you know, just mystified by it, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So, and like I said, I mean, Stefano, as far as the colorist, did phenomenal. The colors in this book really popped well. Antonio, the artist, did great. And then Justin Birch, he always does really well with the lettering. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. So, well, anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to throw in or talk about Stargazer at all?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay.
I'm excited to see where, you know, how people are going to receive the book as it goes.
How many issues is it going to be?
6. We have 6 issues. So every issue is just like the first issue, where it's another mystery, another reveal, and it just keeps you going and going. A mystery box. It's what's the Russian
bottle dolls? I forget what they're called.
Yeah. The Russian dolls. Like, I mean,
yeah, I can't remember either.
It's just like that. But it gets bigger instead. We're starting with the smaller ones. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Awesome.
Yeah, the Russian nesting dolls is what they are.
That's it. Exactly.
Perfect, man. So
thank you. Saved it.
No worries. All right. So this is the part of the show where we always, you know, announce kind of what we're doing, what we're going to give away, because we don't have a physical copy of Stargazer yet, because it comes out on May 6th. And you can go ahead and pre-order that on Mad Cave. But we're going to give away a copy of Show's End. Okay. So this is the trade paperback. All right. We're going to give that away. And to enter, all you have to do is fairly simple. Okay. You're just going to comment after the live stream in the comment section, #Stargazer, and then follow Anthony Cleveland on Instagram, Twitter, you know, one of the two. And his handle is to the right down there, or to the left, I guess, depends on how you're looking at it. But follow him. And then, as always, we'll draw within a week and send that out to you free. And also, Anthony, it's 50% off on Comixology, right?
Right. Yeah. I think all 6 issues or all 5 issues are discounted, and the trade is 50% off right now. And the trade has a ton more art. The layouts in it are great. That's the way you should read it right there.
Yeah.
It was read it intact.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, the artwork is absolutely incredible. So perfect. So again, #Stargazer, comment section below after the video, and follow Anthony Cleveland. All right. So let's kind of Justin Birch. I may be biased, but Show's End's really good. It is really, really good. All right. So now let's talk about some of your current project, or, you know, we have Stargazer going on. Let's talk about Show's End a little bit, maybe some future projects you're working on. Let's kind of open it up a little bit to some other things.
Yeah, for sure. Right now it's mostly taking time for myself to do like the passion projects I want to do. I'm working on finally just trying to get some horror comics out of me. That's what I want to write next. I love horror. I want to get back into that. That's where I started. Where the Silver Skin was supposed to be a horror comic, but I really don't think I can write like scary horror. Like, I think everything I come from is like family drama or something with heart in it. Like Show's End's full of that. But yeah, I'm trying my best to write something that's like actually scary. Just writing shorts, things like that. I have a webcomic I'm doing with Rebecca McConnell called Dream Space. It's like we've called it Cyberpunk Light. It's about kind of a world where people are selling off their dream space, their sleep time, for advertisements to be put in there, and just how that would affect people in the future.
Interesting, because I mean that's a really interesting concept, because right now, I mean, obviously we live in a world where 90% of everything is about advertisement, right?
Right. And you see them every day, everywhere you look is an advertisement.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Have it in your dreams. After that, we're not. If you were offered money for something like that, I think a lot of people would take that. To sell off the dreams, because you're making money while you sleep. It's very appealing, and I think a lot of folks would do that. And this kind of explores what would happen in a world like that. But we're on. We have the first I guess, issue done. It's a webcomic. It's free.
Yeah.
I'll pass you guys a link later. I'm sorry I forgot about that one.
No, it's okay, man. We'll put it in the description.
Cool. And then we're working on the second one right now. She's juggling with my schedule and our schedules together. But yeah, that's a big project that we'd like to get done.
Absolutely, man. So, well, let's talk a little bit about Shows In, because this was something that, I mean, quite frankly, it was phenomenal.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I appreciate it a lot. Thanks.
When I picked it up, the trade and started reading it, just looking at the cover of that trade, I mean, that cover art, is awesome. Lorelei, am I saying it right? Because in my head,
yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Lorelei, she looks awesome on that cover. And not to throw shade on any of the other guys. I love everything that I've been reading from Mad Cave, but without with the risk of getting in trouble, this was my favorite read from Mad Cave. I'm telling you, I absolutely loved it, man. I loved the development of the characters. The fact that you were able to give us the insight we needed to get to know these characters, so many characters at that 5 issues, was really awesome, to be able to connect with these characters so quick, to the point where, when Bones dies, it's like you feel that, like you're like, man, really? Yeah. And it was really, really good, whenever they found out, and I don't want to give too many spoilers, but when you find out, that these guys have been betrayed this whole time, you're just, you kind of feel that frustration.
Yep.
But I really enjoyed the horror aspect of it. I feel like it was just enough to where a kid, what do you say, Nick? Like 10 to 15 would still be cool.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But it was a really, really awesome read. I couldn't put it down. I've read it twice, the trades and at it, and I can't tell you enough how much I enjoyed everything about it. The artwork was fantastic. The story progression through all the issues was great. I loved how, it was Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and so on. I thought that was great. It was an awesome way to take something as family friendly as a circus and put such a dark spin on it, and make it something that an adult would be just enthralled in while they're reading. I mean, it was great, man. Fantastic,
man. Yeah, that means a lot. Thank you very much for that.
Yep. And then Tark's in the comment was talking about that page. That looks awesome.
Yes. When just like Stargazer with Show's End, like I try not to waste any time getting stuff going. Like my time is tight. I'm a parent. I full-time job. Like I feel really bad when I read a comic and I'm like, that was okay. Like, it's time and money, and like I really don't want to waste anybody's time or money on something that they tried out. And I just want to keep things rolling as fast as I can with the comics and make sure the pages are turning.
Well, and go ahead, Dustin.
I can promise anybody that watches this video, that's watching it now, if you haven't picked it up, it ain't going to be a waste of your time or money. I promise you that. It's definitely well worth it, especially right now. I mean, if you go on Comixology, like you said, it's half off, and it's just well worth it, and it's so well laid out in the trade. I definitely agree with you. Reading this in that trade was perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I like it.
And like you said, I mean, it immediately picks up, it gets going, and there's no time wasted. And Dustin and I have had this conversation where this is why we enjoy indie comics so much more than a lot of the big two, and we'll even say big three from maybe Image or whatnot, because you could literally go spend $60, $70, $80 on a big event title and get nothing out of it. That happened towards the end of the year last year with the Marvel event. I spent all that money picking up all the runs and we got nothing out of it. This story right here, within 5 issues, I got more and enjoyed more out of this book than I did out of, a massive event, all these tie-ins. And that's something we appreciate so much, from indies and specifically Mad Cave. You guys do a great job with that.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. That means more than you know. Yeah, I'm such an outsider with. Sorry, I'm such an outsider with the comics. I never followed the big two stuff. I've read like, you know, a few titles and stuff. I worked at a comic book store. Like I read the stuff I wanted to read, and which is usually non-superhero stuff. I do like superheroes. Like there's so much I don't know that I need to catch up on.
Yeah, and we don't keep up with much of it either. I mean, we might have 2 or 3 in our pull lists, but other than that, I mean, we're picking up a ton of the Mad Cave, the Boom, you know, other smaller publishers, because you get actual value, right? You can feel and you can read. You know, there's a level of passion here that you're not always getting, and most of the times you're not from some of these other two. So, you know,
I think the difference a lot of the times is, and I could be wrong, but you know, I kind of feel like, you know, guys like you guys on these smaller indie companies, you know, you're not writing for a check. You know, you're writing because it's something that, you know, like you said, you're following a dream. It's something you love, something you've always wanted to do. So, you know, every time, you know, you put that pen on that paper, you have that feeling of I got to knock this out of the park.
Yeah, that's another big motivator with just making the pages, you know, turn and everyone getting hooked on it. It's making sure it's good enough so people hire you back.
Yeah,
that's a big thing. It's not really the money. It's about making sure the book sells so you can get another gig off for that. That's what I was afraid about Stargazer when I was doing that, because I'm like, it was trouble getting that ball rolling at first. I mean, I had some good hooks, like in the first 3 pages. There's, I think that, I don't know. I'm not going to spoil it. Let people discover themselves.
That's what's hard about
spoiling. Yeah. There's something in the desert that's not supposed to be there, and I thought that was a good hook. And like, and I had all the hooks, but I didn't have the heart for it, and I had to dig for it. And when I did, I think the book, that's how it all came together for me. I think that's my secret, is making sure the pages flow and making sure I put some kind of heart or myself into it. That's how that keeps going.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you know, we've given away a couple of trades. We did a couple of giveaways on IG. We've done a couple in the past, and we gave away a copy of Show's End. I actually just sent another copy to somebody else that has a YouTube channel, and we'll probably be opening that up with him in the next day or two. So, you know, we're using these, getting them out there, because I think people, the more they talk about it, the more they're going to understand, you know, the talent and the fantastic writing that you do. So, I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes. You know, I know this is really, you know, major book number 1, number 2 behind me, but I'm excited to see kind of what follows for sure.
Yeah. And anybody watching, if you'd like Show's End, just put the word out there about it. Make sure you leave a review wherever you check it out at. We'd like to do more. Not a ton planned for it yet. But we'd like to get there, and, you know, word of mouth is going to help a lot more than anything else.
Yeah, we're going to make sure we try to get everybody to flood every Mad Cave outlet as much as possible with we want more Show's End. Absolutely, because, you know, that's another thing I loved about it. You know, Nick was talking about, you know, some of these big events we get from Marvel and DC, where we invest in them time and money, and you know, every now and then you get one that ends up being a stinker where you feel like, okay, so what happened? What was the end? And with this, you know, particular Show's End, you know, I loved how, you know, we did get a full wrap up. We got a conclusion. You know, we felt like we were okay, cool. Everything's good now. You know, we know what happened, but at the same time, it was left over. Or left to where we can have more added too. So that was really great.
Yeah, that last page in here. I mean, I was like, oh, they've got to already have a second one planned, ready to go. So Mark, hopefully you're watching this on the rerun. But as one person,
need it,
maybe 2, we would love to see this come back.
Yeah, that first page I was so happy that came out that way. I'm like, ended it. Good. It's because I was so worried about not getting just a nice send off. Like I wanted to write it so, like, if we weren't able to come back, there's closure. We you know, we got the big bad, but there's a bigger bad that we need to worry about. I got to do a shout out. I think I saw a Comic Assassin in the comments.
Yeah.
He's a YouTube reviewer, and he started doing shows and reviews all on his own. And that's where I first started watching him. And I didn't reach out to him. I don't think Matt Cave reached out to him, but he just started doing it all on his channel. So thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, he's actually local to me too. So and he's in and out of the chats, and he's a part of the. And you'll see Anthony. And anytime you see us live, man, and you want to jump on with us and talk about some of your projects coming out or whatnot, feel free to do that, because it's a pretty tight knit community. And anybody else that is in the chat and you want to talk with Anthony, I'm sure you're open to it, right? I don't want to speak for you.
Of course.
So reach out to Anthony. His Twitter and Instagram's down there.
Yeah, DM's always open. Yeah, we can talk about anything you want, especially if anyone's like wanting to know about indie comic books, how to get into that, comic book writing.
Yeah,
tons of resources. I'm happy to help you out. I want more indie folks out there. More voices, the better.
Yep. And Ryan, so he's one of the folks that we actually sent one of the trade paperbacks to. So good.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Just, show's end again. I'm telling you, I've been telling Nick all week. I've been so excited to talk to you about this show's end. I always, when I'm reading something, the way my mind works, it just, I just automatically start relating what I'm looking at to things that I've seen or other things that I've, that stick out to me. And as far as the characters that you have in here, again, I don't know if you had any kind of say so on what these characters look like when the art was being done.
It was, Jeff followed it pretty close to what I gave him.
Okay.
It's pretty darn close. I don't think there was much that he strayed from. The ones that I do like are all the ghost characters, Captain Corley's actors. Holy, it's really good.
Oh yeah,
it's really, really good.
Yeah.
The guy with the mohawk and the daggers in his head, and then no jaw, so good. Like I saw that. I'm like, oh my god, I need that for a profile picture. To be there always. Jeff put so much into that. There's so much stuff in the background. If you guys check it out again, he's got these characters that we don't really talk too much about, but are in the background.
Yep.
It's I gotta. If we're able to come back, I want to write more about those. Those characters in the background. So much fun to look at that stuff.
And Captain Corley is the one I wanted to ask about, because to me, as soon as I saw him, the character that popped in my head, which is a character that I love the character, and the version Jim Carrey played was in the Lemony Snicket's movie. A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't remember the character that he played, but you have the picture in your head. You know who
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Captain Corley to me, kind of had that almost same look and vibe to me, where, you could tell as the outside viewer, like, this dude's bad news, absolutely. But he has this way about him, the way he talks and carries himself. He's kind of got this way about him to be able to, talk his way into, people not really seeing that. And I really love that.
I have no idea where that character came from. I know they're all tropes. Every one of these freak show characters is like a character you've seen before from this kind of stories. I didn't see it yet, but definitely Captain Corley is Mr. Dark from Ray Bradbury's story. What's it called? Something Wicked. Something Wicked This Way Comes. He's definitely that ringleader character. The bad guy gets him in, and we're back. The dinosaur story. You've got that.
That was
guy.
The other one that I was going to say. Yeah. Yep, the ringleader from We're Back. Yes.
They're all familiar, but writing him and the things he said, I'm when he's talking about magic in the stage and stuff like that. I have no idea where that stuff came from. That was someone else writing it. It was very weird how that stuff came out from just onto the keyboard. Very fun character to write.
Absolutely. And that was kind of the other correlation I made between the ringleader from We're Back, was because he kind of used that magic on stage a little bit too, and had that kind of second dimensional evil, spirit to him too. The fact that I was able to kind of, correlate this guy to other characters that I grew up loving, it just made it even better for me. I really digged it.
Yeah, I try to make it pretty familiar. I mean, but tell it in a way that we haven't really seen yet. I mean, from a little girl's point of view and things like that. That also, we can spoil it. She's a monster. She's a monster.
Yeah, you figured out.
Been out for a while. Yeah, it's in the first issue.
But that's got to be kind of hard as a writer to put yourself in the perspective of this little girl and be able to tell the story from that perspective, I guess. I mean, kind of what was that like? I
mean, it was just about looking at things new, I guess, new and unfamiliar. But even stuff that she was saying, like, it was, once it started rolling, I think once I went on these characters, like, it just came out itself, like her perspective on getting lost in the carnival.
Yeah.
And just how, like, she shares that with the audience and things like that. Like, it just, I don't know where the book came from. Like, same thing with Stargazer. Once you just start typing, like, none of that stuff's in the outline. It comes out when I actually write the script. It was just a weird flow, I guess. I don't know. Someone else is telling me to do it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Every book I've started, I'm like, I can't do that again, and here it happens anyways.
I don't know who's in charge of Mad Cave's merchandise line, but this right here would make a fantastic T-shirt.
I think
it would. It's true.
If it's not already, I haven't looked, but if it's not, that would make a fantastic T-shirt. I would buy it for sure.
I actually
think 2 designs up.
Just did it.
That's not one of them. Yeah, we should. Yeah, they've got 2 designs up. They've got the demon, and then they've got Lorelei. But they don't have that demon.
Okay.
But yeah, they're still pretty good looking.
Well, I'll have to definitely check that out and get one then. I was not aware of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, all right, everybody in the chat, we're going to open it up a little bit for questions. I know we had one previously, and then we'll kind of let Anthony wrap up with anything he wants to go over and let him go on about his day. Take a nap, right?
I don't know. I got the coffee in me, so we'll see.
All right. So Rod the Rican, and he is one of the best folks in the community. To our guest, at a coffee shop you walk into, which 2 characters would you like having a cup of coffee with?
Which 2 characters?
Yeah,
from my books, or
I guess let's anybody, any character book.
I don't know. It's so open. I don't know. I don't know. I probably want to see something I haven't seen or would look odd. I would like to see like a xenomorph. I wouldn't make long, but a xenomorph would be nice, and a predator. Something to see in real life that you don't really see every day. Like, yeah, I would say Constantine, but like it's a blonde dude in a trench coat. I'd rather get mauled by a xenomorph. So I'll take those 2 and have a sip of a latte before I get killed.
Jared, I see your question down there, man. I'm not putting that up on the screen. But
well, I think he's just kind of referring to the Stargazer.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. All right. We'll throw it up there.
People understand when that book comes out.
That is a good point. I guess
you'll get it. Yeah, they'll get it. Yeah.
So Magic's got a question. Hi, Anthony. Have people from your personal life ever influenced their way into your work?
Yeah, Stargazer and Silverskin, definitely my brother. He's always in there, but I mean, it's like just small interactions. I'm surprised still stick in there and come in there. When I worked in the methadone clinic and the inpatient psych unit, like just listening to those folks' stories, like a lot of that stuff rubbed off on me. A lot of the tragic stuff I heard from there. I can't point to any example, but it's at least the emotion that they share with me is definitely in some of these characters.
Yep. Absolutely. Awesome. And then Comic Assassin. Curious to know if there's any good backstory behind the inspiration of any of the Carney characters. And I know we hit on that a little bit about, but
sure do. Bones. I can tell you guys about Bones. Bones is based off of. I'm not sure if it's the right name. Don't Google him. Mike Flanagan. There's a documentary called Sick. Mm-hmm. He's someone that had gosh darn it, I don't remember the disease, but he's had it his whole life. I can't remember what it is, but he's had this disease his whole life. So he goes on stage and he's does sadomasochistic acts, like putting nails through his hands, piercing himself, doing all this crazy stuff. He's in a 9 Inch Nails video, music video, and a bunch of stuff. He was big in the 90s. So he passed away. The disease finally got. But his whole thing was about his body hurting him from being sick for so long that he took to the stage to do these acts to hurt it back.
Yeah.
Take it over. And that's what Bones is about. Like
this character, correct?
Yeah. Twigs, excuse me.
Twigs.
Yeah.
I think Dustin said Bones earlier.
I did. That was my bad.
It looks like it though. That makes sense.
But yeah.
When I read that part, when he said that, when he was talking to Lorelai and explaining, I was like, man, that's super deep. So that's cool to know that that's actually something, that was real life.
Mm-hmm. That's where it came from.
All right. Yeah, definitely let let everybody know about the merch idea.
I'll pass that back. Yeah, never look good on white.
It would. Actually, I bought a Woven Heart shirt, gray coming in. All right. So Tarx9, what was your research for Stargazer?
Lots of UFO books, I think, because I was digging for anything that I could find. To just give me that inspiration, that edge. Like Shozen was a lot of carnival books, and that was so much fun. But like Stargazer, it's UFOs, but like we talked about the orbs, it's so abstract and different that I didn't want to make it too familiar, because I think we need to start getting to like the way these UFO ships look. Like one's just a V in the sky with like 4 lights on the sides on it, and it's like that doesn't look good on the page. It's too familiar. We've seen that before, or even a flying saucer. It's too familiar. So I didn't pull a whole lot from the research this time.
Yeah.
But definitely it helped getting my mind into it and seeing, all these other folks that, how abduction has affected them for, their whole life, and sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm telling you, that last page where it kind of ended on Stargazer, that's a huge cliffhanger. Like it really got me excited. And I'm like, great, I can't read issue number 2.
Yeah, I was like, well, page, yeah.
The first one doesn't even come out until May. That's 2 full months. And then is it going to be monthly too? Right?
So monthly. Yep.
So I won't even get to read it till June. So that was a bit disappointing for me. I'm like, man, but man, it's worth it for sure.
If it makes you guys feel any better, I read the issues probably a week before you guys do. So I'm in the I don't see them until they're ready either. That's how Shozen was, and that's how I was lucky with Stargazer. I got that one pretty early.
Yeah.
I think Shozen, like the time from writing it to coming out was a long time, and it was just surprising to see. I think I finished Stargazer in November, and then I saw the issue in January.
Yeah.
And, like that was very tight, very fast. I couldn't believe they were rolling so fast on it. But yeah, neat.
Yeah, it's an interesting process. So Brett Hess art. When are we getting a Shozen on Netflix?
I want an anime series. That's what I really want. I think that would be cool, like a Castlevania style.
Yes.
I think that's the best way to tell it.
And that's exactly kind of what I told Mark previously when we talked to him. Just the artwork is so good in this, and the story itself. But I mean, the artwork is at a level where you could take this exact artwork and put it into something similar to that format. And I think it would be phenomenal. But
yeah, I don't want to lose Jeff's work in that. Like Jeff's work and the coloring in there is just too good to toss away for live action.
For sure.
I was definitely thinking a movie would be cool, but
no, man. Yeah.
I was sitting there. I was reading it. Who could play each character?
All right. So he said, wow, physically hurting yourself. I don't know, man. What's going on, Caroline, Chris? Yeah, make sure you check it on the replay. So we'll see if anybody else has anything else in the chat they want to ask. But other than that, Anthony, anything else you want to talk about, go over? This is kind of your time to do so. This is all about you.
Get that plug.
Yeah. I mean, just check out Stargazer when it comes out. If you guys dig Shozen, please just tell more people about it. Let's get the ball rolling. I'd really like to get number 2 out of my system. There's so many cool ideas, and it's gonna be nice because there's what I have right now is just a ton of like horror references, things that All right, chainsaw fight. There's your 1930s chainsaw fight.
Heck yeah. Oh, and that was one thing, man. I love the fact it was based in Georgia because that's actually where Dustin and I are from.
Yeah, I forgot to even mention that. That was awesome.
Nice. That was Georgia's near a lot of the stuff, a lot of the areas where I want to go with the story. I think Florida has the town where it was all the carnival folks would live during the winter months. And that's someplace I would like to visit with this story down the road. That's kind of like, Showdown has its own like graveyards, areas like that. And that's where it's based in Florida. But yeah, definitely keep it in the South. It's not going to go anywhere else.
Yeah, for sure. So Justin wants to know if you're going to be making any convention appearances.
No, nothing planned. I'd like to, but nothing planned right now, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got to be careful right now, though. They're canceling everywhere.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
There you go. You can put the coronavirus into it.
See if we can talk to Anthony about, talk to Mark about Two Brothers Comics and Mad Cave doing a booth together at Atlanta ComiKon this year.
Yeah, maybe we can check it out.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah, guys. So you heard what he said earlier. He said there's not really any plans right now for a continuation of show-ins, but you guys have heard he's got the idea. So y'all know what we got to do. We got to go flood Mad Cave on Twitter, Instagram, emails. Go tape letters to the front doors of the buildings. Let these guys know we want more of this show's in. Go let these guys know.
Yep. And do the same thing with Stargazer once it comes out. It's coming out May 6th, so go pick it up. Now, Bear's rocking comics. Now, he actually commented on a couple of things. Dug the first issue of Show's Hand, can't get it second issue in UK anymore. Bear, so I'm going to plug it again. We're going to give away the entire trade paperback. All you have to do is after this is over, comment #Stargazer and follow Anthony Cleveland on Twitter or Instagram. Increase his following a little bit there. Let him know how much you love his work, and that way you can keep up with some of the other stuff he's doing. And if you win, Bear, I will ship this to you. Normally we don't do international shipping, but I'll send it to you. Okay.
Yeah. If you're having trouble getting the UK, DM me. We'll try to figure out something how to get you next couple of issues.
Yep.
Get you hooked up.
Thank you, Mike.
It's true. It's true.
Absolutely, Jared. We appreciate you. And the comics with your chainsaw fights, I can work with that.
Right. 1920s chainsaw looks pretty gnarly. They were pretty gnarly looking. I would like to see them. Jeff draw them out.
All right, man. So anything else at all before we wrap it up? Hey, Comic Jabroni, how you doing, man? If you got a question for Anthony, drop it.
Jabroni, what's up? Yeah.
Bear saying you rock. So that's awesome, man. All right. So anything else at all? Pre-order Stargazer, comes out in May. Enter in the chance to win shows in. Let Mad Cave know how much you enjoy the book by going out and purchasing it. It's half price on Comixology.
Yep.
So you can do that. And Anthony, I'll give you the floor, man. Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to do? Big screen.
No, man. It's a lot of me. No, just thank you to everyone that read it. Like that's huge. Like even in the beginning of the trade, it starts with thanking you guys. I don't want to waste your money or time when I write. So that means a lot that you guys stuck with the book. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, Dustin, anything else you want to add? Ask anybody else?
No. Thanks for coming on with us, Anthony. And, like I said, thank you so much for putting, so much heart and hard work into these stories and giving us something that, we can really, really enjoy and feel like we've really gotten, like you said, gotten more than our money's worth out of. It's really awesome to be able to pick something up from a publisher and have no backstory on that comic and that title, and just have confidence immediately that it's going to be something that's going to be good. It's going to be good. And, after shows in, I have that confidence with anything that's going to have the name Anthony Cleveland on it from this point forward, that I'm going to enjoy it.
100%.
Oh, man, thanks a lot. Thank you. I got one more plug.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dry Foot. Jared's coming Wednesday, right?
Yep. March 11th.
Everybody come back for that. Everybody come back for that. I'm hyped for that book. Hyped for him. Happy he's got a book coming. He's earned it. He's grinded so hard. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, and you were talking about like a 90s, 80s kind of feel to it. I mean, just by the cover, It's incredible. So
yeah, it looks like it's another personal story coming from someone from Mad Cave, and I can't wait to see that.
Oh man, I'm waiting for this comment to pop up so I can highlight it. Jared wanted to tell you he loves you.
Love him too.
All right, guys. Well, Anthony, on the show, man, we always end it with collect your way and the finger guns. I don't know if you got all the way through to Marks, but we'll let you end it. So, Dustin, Anthony, as always,
collect your way.
You gotta give us
collect your way. Yeah,